Hey, it is 9:30, time for the Friday Night Hangout. This is where we grab a brew, shoot the breeze, and interact with you live on the internet. Back from summer break. Happy to be back. Happy to be with the gang virtually for another Friday Night Hangout. Before we get going here, we'll do a quick round of intros and such. But just a reminder, if you're watching live, there is the replay and, of course, the podcast best of, which I am one episode behind. Because you know what, these darn things takes a while. But we'll try to get everything all situated for everybody. All right, so let's start with a quick round of intros.
All right. With are the inmates from the asylum?
Wallace.
I'm cutting in and out, Ben. Hey, Jim.
All right. Krista.
Hello. Am I cutting out or are you cutting out?
I think we've all cut out.
Let's blame Eastlink.
Yeah. Eastlink. Carrie, are you with us or you're still frozen? Takes a while.
No, I'm
I see him.
still here. I think I'm here. Am I here?
You're here.
Okay, that's me.
But I
Where'd
don't
Jim
see
go?
Jim. I don't know.
Jim's
Well,
gone.
we've got 3 points in the province covered right now, so
Yeah.
the internet in the northish, the eastish. Wait,
I can't blame Eastland.
You can't? Well,
No.
yeah, you can. It's worth it. They put out internet last night to most of the city and surrounding
Blame me
area,
anyway.
and it was just
Yeah.
like they did, that emoji that's like, woo. They did that for a smooth 6 hours on their Twitter feed last night. It was beautiful.
What if they take a course to do it?
Of course we would have technical issues.
First one back. We've never done this before, everybody.
You know, I jinxed
blame
it.
new Google.
I jinxed it because I said, which button do I press to get this thing started? There you go. Now you know. And it's a new goddamn Google logo. Fuck. Stupid thing.
Don't blame Google.
That's okay. You get one chance, Google. Okay, where were we going here? All right, sorry everybody, a little technical issues. I got a screen that says we're having authentication issues. Hold on for a second. That's what I got. Keith Elliott from Wallace, Nova Scotia is with us tonight. How's it going, Keith?
Good, Jim. Thanks.
Kate Breton, Carrie, how's it going,
Hello
buddy?
there. We're here live. I think.
I think we're good. I think Eastlink internet is working. Maybe. Krista from Halifax, bitesizetravel.ca. How's it going, girl?
I'm good. How you doing?
Doing good. Of course,
Nice to be back. Nice to be back.
We enjoyed the last month and a half. I think everybody just enjoying the summer, enjoying life in general, taking their trips.
Just
and
enjoying
stuff.
life. Going to New York, drinking beer, drinking lots of stuff.
Well, we'll be talking about beer here in a second here, but as we get all settled in. Folks, this is an interactive hangout if you're watching live, so definitely put in some comments. I'm having some issues. I switched over commenting systems on the website, and I can't have it on the Hangout post, so hopefully you can comment on the YouTube page, or you can use Twitter, Friday Night Hangout hashtag to get going here, and we can get a rolling. So with that, we got a few links here tonight. Hopefully I haven't lost the links here. There we go. And if you want to follow along, you can check out the Google Plus event page. We'll get going here. Let's start off with a round of what we are drinking tonight. I will start off, and which is I am drinking something different. It's not local tonight. It's Canadian. It is Black Oak Imperial IPA.
Oh, nice.
10. Cost me $8, even though Rockhead said it was $5. But I didn't disagree because I figured it's 8% ABV. Might as well. They're from Toronto, blackoakbeer.com, and this is their 10th anniversary brew. So nice, strong, dry, and hoppy. A little bit more on the malty side, so East Coast IPA kind of style here. So it's very bitter. It's you have that malt, and then you have that bitter sharpness right there. Not bad. I mean, I had a few double IPAs this week from local breweries, which were a little bit tastier, but maybe this will get a little bit better as it warms up. Who knows? But if you see this on shelves at Rockhead here, if you're local, you can give it a try if you want to spend a few extra bucks. But I think there's a few other alternatives in the IPA style locally that you can probably want to get instead.
Sorry, Jim, was that Imperial?
Yeah, Imperial IPA, 8% ABV. Is there anything other here on the bottle here? No, that's about it. blackoakbeer.com is their website.
Black Oak.
All right, Carrie, what are you drinking tonight?
Not drinking beer tonight. Sorry. Drinking mojito.
All right, it's that time of year for Carrie. Mojito.
No, I got a little bit of a cold coming on, so it's the next best thing.
It's getting a citrus.
Mental, yes,
Mint.
I'll make a note of that.
Vitamin C.
Keith, what are you drinking tonight, buddy?
I'm drinking Sebago Brewing Company from Maine. Their summer session ale, which is called Simmer Down. Summer's almost over, so simmer down.
And how is it? Describe the beer for us here. What is it?
Very hoppy. Smell, a little bit of fruity smell, a little bit of malt smell. A lot of hop on the beginning, a little bit of citrusy in the finish, and you can't really taste any malt at all. Really crisp beer, really easy to drink beer. Yeah, case of this wouldn't go amiss.
All right, and what's the ABV percentage on that? Is that
About 4.9, Jim.
4.9, nice and light.
Nice.
Krista, what you drinking?
I'm drinking a little artisanal spirit from near the homeland of one Jim Cyr.
Yes.
This is the Distillery Fils du Roi from Petit-Pacaville on the Acadian Peninsula near Carquette, where I visited for the 15 août holiday. So I'm enjoying a gin and tonic because it is hot in the hot tub tonight. And that is, if you like gin, go to northern New Brunswick and find some because that's the only place you can buy it, I'm told. But no, it's a really, really wonderful gin, and it's small batch. And Sébastien, the guy who makes it, is really creative and innovative, and he's making all these interesting spirits, and he has a wall of awards that is amazing for someone who's been in business 2 years. It's extraordinary. He's receiving a lot of international recognition for it.
Didn't he win something on the West Coast not too long ago?
He's won something on the West Coast. He's won something on an International Spirits Show in New York and an International Spirits Show in London. And his promotion, it's a really small-scale operation. It's him. His dad gave us the tour because he spoke the best English of the people that were there that day. And his mom was there. He wasn't even there that day. I think he was working at his actual job. And they have a brewmaker, and that was the extent of the operation.
Wow.
They have a full distillery and a full craft beer operation, and they have room in this extension that they built for 2 more of each easily.
Wow.
It's amazing. But the product is extraordinary. I'm not much of a gin drinker. This is fantastic.
All right, so bitesizetravel.ca, and I believe Krista posted a few pics and stuff there. So
yes, I did.
Post, so
I did.
Definitely check that out to read about Krista's experience up in L'Acadie.
L'Acadie.
All right, so with that, we got a few people in here. Yeah, that's right. We're done our summer holiday, even though we're going to take a break next week. I don't know how that works, but anyway. There's some scheduling issues and child caring that We're transitioning from the crib to the bed, and that means that somebody doesn't want to get fucked to sleep until like 9 o'clock. Oh, it's not even 10 o'clock. I started already. Sorry with the blue language, but anyway, somebody doesn't want to go to sleep, and somebody can get out of the crib or the converted bed and open the door and pitter patter. All of a sudden, I see a little creature next to my bed, scares the bejesus out of me because I think it's an alien.
Welcome to the fun times, Jim.
Oh my god. Anyway. All right, let's start off with some topics here. We got a couple topics from, well, let's start with the local story that I think Keith mentioned here, which is happening not even 500 meters from my house, maybe 500 meters. The Toronto Maple Leafs are in town. They're doing training camp for a few days here, so they are at the local BMO ice rink, which is just a 4 ice pad practice center. There's really no seating for anybody. There's just a center aisle and just some, I don't know, maybe you can fit 40 people in total in there. So I guess it went bananas today, judging from a few tweets that I was able to see. Just going to ask you guys, 1, hockey fans, 2, even care at this point because it is just training camp?
I don't care, but I saw Twitter blow up this morning with all the tweets, and probably lots of people playing hooky from work were on the news today.
And quite a few people took their kids out of school today to line up for this, and I was like, "It's
I
school's
noticed
been in
that,
for
yeah.
a week."
Well,
I would be a terrible parent, and I know that your kid should go to school after like a smooth 5 days.
And the worst part, and they had said beforehand, they had said, seating is like extremely limited. Don't expect to really get in and get real close. So I don't know why they were making a whole point. And training camp, for those who have seen games, none of the big names are there. It's all these rookies and stuff. You may get a couple names, but
Yeah. So here's the thing. So CBC was there, and they covered every minute of it, and they tweeted about it every 5 seconds. And they were talking to all these people that were waiting in line that were really, they were bummed they didn't get in. And some of them like flew here from St. John's, and like drove up from Cape Breton with their 3-month-old baby, and all of these crazy things. And it's like nothing about this was guaranteed. Like you had to have known that going into this.
it was
Like, why would you subject yourself to that? Like, why would you? I mean, it's not like super expensive to fly here from St. John's, but it's not like cheap. Like, it's costs money.
And for anybody in the hockey circuit knows that this is it is essentially a practice rink. It's not a facility. Just because it has BMO on the side of the building outside, it's not a facility that can handle spectators. It is essentially there for parents to wait for their kids to finish doing their hockey tournaments every spring.
people either didn't read or it wasn't explained well in the media because, yeah, there was a lot of people that were a little bit perturbed it wasn't going the way they expected.
Well, and there were hundreds and hundreds of people lined up, and like everything I read said there were like 400 seats or whatever it was. So you get there, you look, and you could buy 2 tickets. You could get 2 tickets each. So if there were more than 200 people in line when I arrived, I'd be like, well, yeah, it's probably not going to work out for me.
And I'm just thinking the people who either haven't been in there realize that you can't see nothing. Like these 200 people, like I said earlier, you can only, there's only seating for like a few in the corner. There people would be like in a hallway, not really seeing anything across this 4-pad ice.
Yeah, I gotta be honest, I kind of have mixed feelings about these things where it's like people from the big city like bring their like one exhibition game to Nova Scotia for the year. Like I don't know, like I really struggle with this because it's like, oh, like we're so grateful, like you give us this like stupid little crumb that literally means nothing. Like,
Well, I'll
am I
say
supposed to be excited at this? I'm not. Like,
I'm not excited at all. Although I will say that can't remember how long it was. Ottawa and was it Toronto did do an exhibition game at the Metro Center, and I did go to that. And guess what? I had really good seats, and I was able to see my Ottawa Senators, no names, beat the crap out of the Toronto Maple Leafs, no names.
No names. Woo!
Which meant nothing because at the end of it.
Yeah, I mean, I've got no dog in this fight. If you want to get up at like 3 in the morning and drag your kids out of bed and go wait in the line, then, I won't judge your parenting openly, but I do have opinions about it. But it's like, whatever. Like, it's not in my neighborhood. It's not like derailing my daily doings and froing, so I really don't care that much.
Exactly. One thing I kind of forget, how long is this supposed to last anyway? Because it's going to be an issue for traffic in front of my house here. So.
Till Sunday afternoon, I think.
Well, yeah, you'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be all right. Besides, all the big names will be out of here by tonight anyway, or by tomorrow afternoon, I'm sure. Let's move on to the next topic. Folks, if you're watching live, you want to comment, Friday Night Hangout hashtag on the Twitter. We'll be monitoring that here in a bit. You can also monitor the YouTube comments. We can check that. But we'll do yet another topic here. We're just getting back in our summer schedule, just trying to get back into the routine and just trying to, for me, figure out which buttons to press here on the Hangout because I am doing a terrible job. Now, all rusty. The next topic here, this is one that was submitted from Mike from Newfoundland. He can't join us tonight, but I guess there's some renovation issues in his house.
Small rainfall inside his house right now.
Yeah. Let's just say that he has a skylight that's, offers no protection. Anyway,
poor Mike. We're thinking of you, Mike.
We're thinking of you, buddy. This topic here, and this was on the news too. CBC covered it here. A MUN student up in St. John's. There's a little controversy here. This student here has hearing disability and asked the professor of one of his classes if they wouldn't mind speaking into basically an FM transmitter, a mic, so that he could hear the professor lecture, and the professor refused on the grounds of their religious beliefs, and the universities basically transferred the student to another class from that. And apparently this is not the first time the professor made that stand, did it about 20 years ago, who also refused to wear essentially a mic. And I'm thinking, you know what, saying religious grounds or anything, I'm thinking more of the fact that professor just doesn't want to be recorded or getting recorded.
This is Canada. Religious accommodation doesn't really exist here, though people keep trying to make it happen. We have a separation of church and state for a reason, and keep your religion out of the classroom. That is mandated by the Constitution.
I have a question.
You have the freedom to practice your religion, but the rest of it is really none of anyone's business.
Did they cite why, though? Like, the religious reason why? I don't think they did.
Not the stories that I read.
I mean, I'm sure this professor uses phones,
I mean, well,
like,
I don't know if you've seen these
seems
things
like a
before,
pretty
but it's basically like a little flat box that you wear on like a lanyard, basically, except that it's up like pretty high, like up about here.
Yeah.
So you're speaking into it. So I don't know. Like when I read this, I called bullshit. Like bullshit. It's bullshit.
I have a bullshit meter for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
like
they don't want to do it.
They have a duty to accommodate this kid's disability. They have a disability support services center on campus. And there are the prof has tenure, so it's not like they can fire her or anything, but she can be censured for this, and she should be. This is inappropriate.
It's not a really hard thing for her to do to accommodate the student.
It's Canada. It's a secular university. This kid is guaranteed.
The student's paying to go to.
Yeah, he's paying money to go to it, though much less than students in other parts of the country. And but this is bullshit. And the university's response is frankly weak.
It is very weak. It's like.
But don't you find universities don't live in our world anyway?
Well,
I mean, we've seen this.
I won't comment on the ones in Nova Scotia, but some universities do not live in the real world. Yes, that's true.
Correct, sir.
But yeah, it's bullshit. This kid should not be prevented from going to class because
should not have to change classes, or I think one of the articles said that the professor said, you're just not part of the class anymore. You know, strike the name off the attendance list. So the kid kind of like got kicked out of class, and the university was like, "Oh, we'll fund you another class." But
That's not accommodating his
That's not
disability.
acceptable.
no, it's not acceptable. It's
Yep. You put it this way: that kid and every other person that knows that kid are paying that teacher, that professor, to teach them.
Well, they're paying like 40% of what it costs to teach them, but yeah.
Well, whatever. They are contributing to his earnings somehow. So that is.
I'm just
Totally.
amazed that, well, because when you read through it, the last time that she did this, it was 25 years ago, I think.
yeah,
And I am amazed that, she pulled this religious accommodation piece 25 years ago and seemingly got away with it. And it took another 25 years for something to come up that offended her religious sensibilities this way.
And this is the thing. She didn't have to cite the exact reason why this offends her.
Well, no,
And
she actually
people just
doesn't
kind of-
have to because of her charter rights and the freedom to practice her religion.
Then
But
people
as
just
a-
run the other way. Okay, that's fine. That's not
Yeah.
acceptable. I'm sorry.
No.
So reading the article that Mike provided here, it says the MUN deputy provost said there was an agreement made 20 years ago from the last incident, means that the professor does not have to wear the device. So current administration were now aware of these decades-old agreement.
She
Yeah,
must have never
so
phoned. She
here's
must
what
have like
happened.
passenger pigeons and.
Well,
Whatever.
the
Messenger
professor, like the professors have very strong unions in post-secondary education in Canada, and they probably fought this as an academic freedom issue, and won.
Mm.
But yeah, it remains bullshit though.
Oh, it's
Very much so.
The difference is 25 years ago, they probably would have told this kid he shouldn't bother trying to get a university education because he's hard of hearing.
you should go back home and make clocks.
That gets
Yeah.
you in trouble in different ways. If you're not white.
Hey, let's talk about that quickly there. I don't know about you guys, but that age, I brought a whole bunch of shit to school.
I wasn't technically inclined like that, but I mean, you know what? It's not even that he's, one of these like really sharp kids that build stuff from scratch. Like, you know what this is about.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's nothing about him being a kid.
Like, I can't imagine anything harder than being a brown person in Texas.
Yeah. Texas is yeah.
Oof. But for those who are listening or watching, it's like, what are they talking about? We're talking about the Muhammad from Irving, Texas, who brought a homemade clock, and the English teacher thought it was a bomb and called the police, and police handcuffed the kid, interrogated him at juvie for a few hours, tried to get a statement, and all this other stuff, and
But you know what these like stupid Texas police officers who probably only need grade 7 to get that job? They told him it looked like a movie bomb. You're police officers. You should know what a real bomb looks like.
if you, nonchalantly, let's interrogate you. All he said he was a clock. He didn't give any indication it was anything other than that. Yeah.
We know that how they identify bombs. Basically.
That country worries about the wrong things. Full
Oh,
stop.
yes.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say it would be that country. I think Canada does have some pockets of hysteria too sometimes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's
But
just-
I mean, Americans are at more danger from crazy white dudes building bombs in their basement than they are from any non-white person in that country.
And shooting themselves in the foot with their 17 handguns they have hid around their house.
Exactly. To protect themselves from the.
Well, Keith was a little bit nervous when we went into Maine a couple of weeks ago about all the changes to the concealed carry laws in Maine, so he was getting kind of nervous as we were.
Oh, do they have concealed carry in Maine? now?
Yeah, there's some changes in the law happening right now with.
Yeah, you know their governor is like crazy, right?
He is.
He's like a hardcore Tea Partier.
Crazy stuff.
Crazy.
All right, well, let's do a quick break here and check comments, folks. If you're watching on Twitter and you want to comment, use the Friday Night hashtag, and we'll take a little peek, see if you're commenting. Whoever's monitoring the YouTube channel, it's a good time to refresh the page.
I got the YouTube.
All right, so, Carrie, is there anything going on the YouTube page then?
Yeah,
Yeah?
I'm refreshing. Oh my God!
Oh, I gave you the.
Just working out the bugs, Jim. We're just
I
working out the
know,
bugs.
I know. On
Well,
Twitter,
go stay back.
Oh wait, there are 2 people that commented. Greastain says Hangout night,
Hey.
Grease
and
Day.
Lee says he's working tonight, so he's just poking in to say hello and have a great show, guys.
All right, thank you, Lee,
Hey,
and
Lee.
and I just
That's
want
all.
to say thank you, Lee, for the donation you made towards the Mrs. CIBC Run for the Cure on October 4th. Lee was very generous with that.
Couple weeks away.
So it was pretty, yeah, a couple of weeks. So I gave a little channel update on the YouTube page there. So there's links and stuff. So if you want to go and check that out.
Oh, do you have your donation link there?
The donation link here. Let me retweet it. How about I do that?
Or you can just email it.
Yeah. Oh, no. Hang on. Where is it?
I'm going to donate to your run.
All right. Don't worry. Let me retweet it here and. Here we go. Oh, you can't retweet your own thing. Did you know that?
I know.
Carrie.
You can't quote your own tweets either.
What?
Oh, yeah, you just gave the comments. Krista, was there anything on Twitter here? Because I was searching here. Now you're asking me to.
No, it's just me. But it's just me on Twitter tonight with all of my friends. I did post the link to my blog post on boatsidestravel.ca. About the gin tour that I did with Distillerie Fils du Roi. And I thank you, Jim, for retweeting that. And if I can remember to do so, I will post it on the YouTube page for the show when I can.
Okay, perfect. And I just did my set of retweets too. Make sure people who are following on the social media can check on that. We've seen the occasional like in +1 from Dan here. Dan's still in a desert environment for the next little while, but he is checking in here once in a while, so
Hey, buddy.
we miss Dan. All right, let's move on to the next topic here, which this is a Krista topic here. Wayne Gretzky endorses Harper.
Okay, so
Wait
a
a
little
minute, what
bit
is
of
this
context for this.
Yes.
So we all know who Wayne Gretzky is.
Yes.
When do you think was the last time Wayne Gretzky lived in Canada?
What, 1985?
Yeah, when he was 16.
He was traded to the
Port of Sioux
Kings.
Greyhounds.
Oh, yeah, when he was traded to the Kings, yeah.
So he was traded to the Kings in what, 88, 89?
Yeah, something like that, right?
Okay.
I don't know.
So for reasons that are considered, I'm pretty cynical when it comes to politics, given my long and storied history with them. There's this concept called bread and circuses, where you disrupt people from the more serious events of the day with distractions, with superficial distractions. And so the bread and circus, known as Canadian hockey hero Wayne Gretzky, descended upon Calgary today to formally endorse Stephen Harper. Now, where this gets slightly more messed up, because Wayne Gretzky, as one of the 1.4 million non-resident Canadians who, until July this year, had the right to vote, no longer has the right to vote in Canada, because he resides outside of Canada for the majority of the year, but still decided to come up and stick his little pigeon nose into the proceedings.
So I'm seeing some videos here. Did he actually did like an photo op with Harper?
Yeah.
Oh my.
And like a speech and a statement. For some reason, he has decided to grace Canada with his presence.
Well, people on Twitter didn't let it slide. Seriously, Gretzky, you're going to campaign for Harper, but he took away your right to vote? Are you that dense?
Well, I mean, Wayne Gretzky is a renowned moron, isn't he? Like, he's barely.
Gretzky's the mark in so many ways, really. I mean, Gretzky isn't really relevant anymore. Not to be, an asshole, but
I don't think he's particularly relevant anymore. But he has this like weird. He
He
has this weird godlike status. Like, he is not really Canadian in my estimation. He doesn't live here. He doesn't pay taxes here. He doesn't vote here. Obviously.
His daughter doesn't like Canada.
Harper's pulling all the rabbits out of his hat right now. That he, even
But you know what? Like, the thing that really pisses me off is that generally Canadians look very disdainfully at celebrity involvement in political campaigns. We're very different from Americans in that regard. But this is just a bridge too far. Like, and Sheldon Kennedy was at this thing as well. He was there making a statement, and he's someone I actually do like hold in like slightly higher regard. But this stuff, this is, I mean, this is bullshit, right? Like, no, like I just get mad that people actually believe this stuff. We are better than this as a country, Canada.
And the worst part, we're only halfway through the election process. Oh my God, we still got
Never is going to end.
weeks and weeks and weeks.
Well, it is funny because people know that I have this, like, you know, these degrees. I have multiple degrees in political science, so generally I would have an interest in this sort of thing. And they keep on coming up trying to talk to me, and I have not been following this campaign. Like, this is my protest. I'm going to look it up on October 18th, read a couple of summaries, figure it out.
Head down to the voting location and.
Yeah.
Well, I'm telling you, I'm in the same boat because you know what's been getting my attention is the Republican primaries down in the States. I am enjoying reading all this batshit insane stuff that's happening.
I love it. I love it.
It is great. I love how now suddenly, from the last second debate, that you're getting some hints that Trump may be starting to go on his way out. You know, you're starting.
I don't think so.
Well, that's what some of
those. It's like a 20-point lead on the next closest person.
Well, I subscribe to a lot of the podcasts and the political stuff, and I listen to that as I'm commuting in, and they all seem to want to suggest that his time is almost up. And you know, was it Carly? The HQ?
Carly Fiorina.
Yeah, Fiorina did a nice little job with him. Trump really did a good job. Essentially, he was there to take care of Scott Walker and some of the other.
Like that's the guy you should be scared of.
Yeah.
But I want Donald Trump to go far in this because he's making all of these like rich Republican guys spend all of their money to fight him, basically, like all these like Sheldon Adelsons and the Koch brothers and like all of these guys, and the Koch brothers have $1 billion set aside for this election, and they are blowing through it fighting this idiot. But at the same time, like, part of me really wants to see him get the nomination because it is the manifestation of the myth of American exceptionalism. Like, America, like, having a reality show person as your presidential candidate is what you deserve. That's what you get.
It seems natural.
I celebrate it.
Now, Bristol Palin said that, you know.
Well, if you want to talk about people that don't have a high school education and shouldn't be like stating opinions, there you go.
No, we're getting too much into political here, but I just wanted to go a little bit off the rails with that. But I just wanted to get to the next topic. Keith, you submitted this here. Turd Ferguson.
Oh, I love this.
This is great. I thought it was great.
I love it so much.
Give us a quick nutshell here. What's going on here with Turd?
It was Final Jeopardy, and well, everybody knows the Turd Ferguson sketch from SNL. Who was it? Norm Macdonald as Burt Reynolds.
It's Burt Reynolds.
Dubbed himself Turd Ferguson, and I can't remember the woman's name, but she had zero chance of winning, so that's what she made her answer for $600 was Turd Ferguson. So
Turd Ferguson.
Alex Trebek had to say it out loud, to the delight of, I'm sure, millions and millions and millions of people.
Well, like most of the internet, this woman.
His chagrin, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure. This woman is cruising some serious internet fame today, or since yesterday.
Well, if you're gonna go out, you might as well. That was awesome.
Yeah. She's the opposite of Ken Jennings, but I love like the Celebrity Jeopardy sketches on Saturday Night Live have always made me laugh like an idiot. Like an idiot. And so, but the Turd Ferguson one, and they did it again at the SNL 40, that they had last year. And
it shouldn't
again,
be funny, but it's hilarious for some reason.
It shouldn't be funny, but it is ridiculous. I love it. I love it so much.
We should probably post here. I'll try to embed some links.
You have to see it to appreciate it.
That's right. I think there's an embed in that CNN link that you posted.
Okay. And what we're talking about, if you haven't seen it, folks, is this is the Jeopardy skit. What's his name there? Will Ferrell plays Alex Trebek, And then my favorite was the guy who plays Sean Connery.
Oh, Daryl Hammond.
Yeah, Daryl Hammond, and then of course whoever else is on. And you're right, it is a great sketch, and they did it for their 40th. So anyway, check that out. Celebrity Jeopardy SNL on YouTube. You'll be able to find it.
And Norm Macdonald's Burt Reynolds is exceptional.
Yeah.
It's exceptional.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We should have all signed our names as Turd Ferguson tonight. Why didn't we think of that earlier?
Let's do a quick round of what we're drinking tonight. A number of people watching. That's right, folks. We are back from summer schedule. Hopefully, we'll get back into the routine here. We won't be live next week. We'll take another break, but that's due to child caring issues. I need that extra time. So, all right. So I am drinking Black Oak. 10 bitter years and anniversary brew. Their Imperial IPA, 8% ABV. Got this at Rocket here on Windsor Street in Halifax. It is a nice golden color. Has a bit of a sweet malt with a little bit of hop here on the taste, but you have a very first jolt of the malt sweetness, and then you got that very hoppy bitterness that just kind of cuts everything like a guillotine. Is it good? 8%. It's not bad, but you know what? There have been quite a few other double IPAs or Imperial IPAs that kind of do a pretty good job. But if you're exploring, blackoakbeer.com. If you're in town, you can grab some of that. So that is what I am drinking tonight. Krista, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking my very last Brooklyn Summer Ale that I got from Bishop's Cellar. And it is what's a light one? It's a 5%. It's meant for beaches and barbecues and stoops and rooftops. When I was in New York, I was staying in Brooklyn, so this is my tip of the hat to my weekend in Brooklyn. I find it very clean. It's like a nice golden color, like a suntan from a day at Coney Island. But it talks about it having a breadiness owing to the English two-row barley. And ever since I read that, all I want to do is eat a hot dog. So I don't know. That's not a beer tasting note, but I would love a hot dog right now.
Keith, we didn't get a chance to eat some hot dogs, but I'll get into that story there in a bit. Carrie, what are you drinking tonight?
Nothing.
Uh-oh.
I got to make a new one.
All right. Keith, what are you drinking tonight?
I switched over to a Sebago IPA. It is Fry's Leap IPA, 6.0. It is different than the last one quite a bit. A lot more hops in this initial smell. Not much head on these beers when I pour them. I noticed that.
Really? I think it's because of the
I don't know why.
They're canned,
And,
right? They're not bottled.
Yeah, canned. Yeah, a little bit of malt. You can taste the malt all the way through, but you really get the hops and the bitterness in the end. It's not bad, actually. It's the best one of the four I've tried so far from Sebago.
Okay, cool. Very cool. And that's stuff that Keith picked up on our way back from our camping trip. We were a little bit light in numbers this year. We had Jocelyn who was supposed to join us there from Montreal, but he wasn't able to come. Last-minute work plans. So me and Keith, we enjoyed a few days in Baxter State Park in Maine. And I was saying earlier, we didn't get a chance to eat the hot dogs. Now this is a delicacy of Maine that
we weren't slumming it, Jim.
You know what? I was very disappointed. Everybody here pretend that they know about Maine. They talk about Bangor and Freeport, and then when I bring the boys out and we go get our camping supplies, our food, I said we gotta have. I call them the red snappers. These are the red natural casing hot dogs that has been produced by this company in Maine for like almost like 100 years.
They're a hot dog.
They're a hot dog, but it's a red dye natural casing. They look like red hot dogs basically.
They have
So,
white. Don't they have ones they call white hots or something too?
I don't know. I'm only used to the red ones. Anyway,
Seems
and
like
then
hot.
and then yeah. So then having these guys looking at me like I'm crazy is like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, you're not aware of this century-old hot dog? How can you? What? Why are you pretending that you know? Anyway. And then they end up eating like 4 or 5 of these things in a row. So.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. I would eat those right now.
Actually, it was a very tasty hot dog. Actually, it's very
Yeah, I
good.
bet it was.
Nothing wrong with them. Just I'm not a hot dog connoisseur.
Oh,
Hot dog
no.
sommelier.
go to Iceland. They have life-changing hot dogs there.
And then they had another one there. I forget the name. It's a bigger brand name. It's just a bigger size.
Oh, they had
Brat. I think it was a brat size.
I forget they had some there. They were like the genuine ballpark foot long. I remember that.
Yeah.
Like
We-
those
we-
long.
We ate better than that, so.
Yes, Keith opted for steaks.
Nice.
It was good.
Steaks and Maine beer.
Well, you know, it's funny. Keith noticed that it got dark pretty damn quick in Maine.
Sure does.
It also helps that we were like an hour away from any type of civilization, and no city lights to keep things illuminated. So when dusk started to hit, it got damn dark because
Yeah, if you couldn't see your hand in front of your face, I've never been in a place like that before. Even outside, you couldn't see your hand in front of
Did
your
you have
face.
like headlamps and stuff?
Oh yeah, you have to.
Oh,
You'd
yeah.
be falling down the steps.
Well, we were eating supper. We got to the camp in the afternoon, and then I said, let's make my chili in my Dutch oven, cast iron Dutch oven. So cooking that up, but it takes like kind of like 2 hours to kind of cook up.
Oh my
A
god.
case of beer later.
Yeah, well, you know, I kind of sped
That's
it
my
up,
idea of camping.
but we were eating it at dark. We had our headlamps on. We actually used the headlamps for me to take a picture, which will show up in the Instagram feed. But it was hilarious that it was just like 7:30. It wasn't that late. It was still, you know, if we're
That
still,
is- well, yeah, that's like 7. Well, it gets dark here now at 7:30, I guess.
I don't know. It's all.
It does.
I don't know. We were kind of surprised how quick once it started to get dark, how quick it got dark. But we ended up enjoying ourselves. We managed. We did our food plan properly. We both enjoyed some sleep, even though I was getting distracted by pitter patter outside, which may have been rabbits, may have been.
I almost stepped on a rabbit
Oh no.
one night.
Oh.
Of
So-
course,
That
me
would
and
make
my,
the weekend take a very dark turn.
me and my half sleep. I'm always thinking that it's bears. So of course, then it's like.
I don't think bears are a big problem there where we take
No,
all our
I don't.
food.
Yeah, I
Well,
don't.
I could imagine there were bears there, but there should have been moose there too, yeah?
I wanted to see moose, but we didn't see any moose.
We saw a squirrel, and that's about it. No, we saw a bird.
Loons, squirrels.
That is not impressive.
And yeah, it was yeah. The park does a really good job with it's a pack in pack out. There's no trash cans. You gotta haul out your garbage,
They're
and
bringing it with you too,
That's
all your
good.
water and everything.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like very strict. They're very strict with the leave no trace stuff. So in a way, they kind of make sure that there's really nothing to attract.
But it's
critters.
pristine there. It's pristine.
Oh,
I
pristine.
mean, the cabin we stayed in was what, over 100 years old?
Yeah, or close to it. Yeah.
On a future date, we should talk about what's going on at Katahdin right now with the Appalachian Trail and how the numbers are getting out of control.
Yes.
Some stuff happened about that while you were gone.
Yes, and there was a follow-up there that I
Keeping up.
listened to. Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next topic here. This is a Krista submitted topic here: expensive bagels. Krista, what's going on with that?
That's right. The New York Jets, when you go to visit them in New Jersey, I'm stalling while it loads up. So you go over to New Jersey to the MetLife Stadium, and they are presently offering up something called the Jumbo Jet Bagel, and it's a giant bagel. It's not a Montreal-style bagel. It's like what you would expect in an American bagel. And it looks like, from the picture, it has 4 fried eggs on it, ham.
It's
chorizo.
bigger. Yeah, it's bigger than a football.
3 pounds of meat. Oh my god.
Yeah, breakfast sausage, potatoes, 4 fried eggs, and cheese. And it's going for $50 American, which right now would be close to like $70 Canadian. Now I know someone who's going down to a Jets game in November, and he claims he's going to eat this. But then I said, be careful because you don't want to die in America.
Oh, did you read at the bottom though? It's meant to feed between 4 and 6 people. That makes a little more sense.
Yeah,
3 pounds
that's
of meat.
America. That's just some lawyer told them they had to say that.
Yeah.
I guarantee MetLife Stadium is going to be
Oh my
full
God,
of Julios
yeah.
trying to eat this thing.
There's going to be a wall of fame of people who survive the bagel.
Like, I love
I think
breakfast. I can eat a pretty ridiculous amount of breakfast food, and that looks terrifying.
That.
Jim, all I can say is that would be 2 trips to the palace.
Oh yes. The palace. Okay, well, might as well give people an idea.
Yeah, I
what
think
we're talking
I
about.
think I can figure that out.
You can figure that out. We just finished talking about camping in the rustic woods in
Yeah.
Maine. We're talking about the palace.
Yeah, I figured it out.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. However, I just wanted to mention here a podcast where they did have a recent episode. They talked about a bagel from New York. It's called the Sporkful or
Oh, I
Spoonful.
love that one. Yeah, Sparkle.
That's a great one, and they had a New York food critic reviewer, and he asked her, "How do you eat your bagels?" So basically, you cut it in half, you scoop out one end, one side, one half of it. You layer that with the cream cheese. You put your smoked salmon on there, maybe some capers, and then cream cheese on the other half, and then that's how you eat your bagel. New York.
That makes sense. That's that you see on offer pretty much everywhere. It's one of those like funny. It's very local to New York, and it's the only place I've ever encountered it in my travels anywhere. When you go there, they're like, "Oh, where are you from?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm from Canada." "Oh, we're in Canada." And like I don't give a lot of detail because I expect they never know where it is.
Yeah.
But if you say Nova Scotia, they'd be like, "Hey, Nova Scotia look, Nova Scotia." Like that is what Nova Scotia is to them.
Brooklyn.
Yeah.
They call their Nova Scotia lox in Brooklyn.
Nova Scotia lox.
That's right.
No, smoked salmon, Nova Scotia lox.
Yep.
Which is something we're really famous for everywhere else, but
Well, Nova Scotia lox is kind of like Chicago deep dish. It's in name only, basically.
well, yeah.
Wait a minute. Nova Scotia lox, like, is that like a brand of smoked salmon that we
It's
export?
just
out?
it's a
It's
style.
a style.
It's a style of the
But
way
it's
they smoke it.
basically smoked salmon.
You know, it's a style of way they hot smoke it versus, you know, they brine it or hot smoke it or something. You can
Dry
cold smoke it. Brine,
Yeah.
no brine, whatever.
But like
Yeah.
Nova Scotia is crazy famous for it in New York City.
Yeah, I went to the Stage Deli, and that's what I had there, and they were going on and on about Nova Scotia.
Nova Scotia.
I get it. I just
Were
wanted
they,
to-
what, Krista, were they talking about the ferry though when you said Nova Scotia?
No, they were not. No, you know what? I take that back because I went to the opening of Coney Island Brewing. I went down to a tasting there, and the guy was asking where I was from, and I was from Nova Scotia, and it was over Labor Day weekend. He's like, Nova Scotia? I got a buddy up there this weekend. A friend of his went up for Wharf Rat.
Well,
There you go. And
Everybody at home, if you're keeping score, it's been 49 hangouts in a row that we've talked about the ferry.
we've been talking about.
49 in a row.
Well, no, I don't know if the guy took the ferry, but it was a vaguely referenced.
You know, I had promised last year I would do a supercut of every time we talk about the ferry.
Oh, that sounds like
It's
a lot
going
of
to be an
work.
hour and a half, Jim.
Well, I had it was way over 9 minutes, and it took a few hours to get through all the clips. I'm like,
9 minutes. Wow.
what? I had just started, and then it's like, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not.
It's pretty dry.
It's in the record. It's for the record.
Hey, let somebody else figure it out if one of us ever runs for office, okay?
Yeah.
They can read through all the
They
dirt.
can, yeah. Let me
Make some like crappy intern with a political party have to watch every minute of this hangout from the last year.
So and then leak out screenshots to Frank Magazine or something.
That's fine. They know. Hey, I'm not hiding.
Well, Frank, I picked up the latest issue of Frank Magazine, and because I enjoy reading it, it makes me feel like I'm part of the clique. But Frankie McDonald Cape Breton's weatherman. I think this is old, but there was this podcaster up in Idaho or Ohio that was using
Oh,
Frankie
yeah, I saw
as a
that,
bit. This sounds like this is old.
Oh, that's so mean. That's so
I just
mean.
saw this the other night, like last night maybe.
Mm.
It's pretty shitty, but I mean,
You figured it was bound to happen to a few people.
yeah, you knew it was going to happen. We're not saying it's right, but
Jesus,
people
like
are assholes.
he's such a nice kid. He likes weather and Chinese food and Coca-Cola. Like
Are
just
they,
like
are they actually making a doll of him? Somebody said they're going to make it like a doll of him, like a bobblehead or something that talks.
I don't know if that's a good idea, but yeah.
Well,
Again,
apparently he's part of it, and
Oh,
money would
okay.
be going his way. So
okay, well, yeah.
I
It's like,
can't- I can't knock
if Frankie gets paid, like
I think
hope,
he should
I
get every
hope,
nickel he can get out of this.
yeah, I really do hope somebody has helped him monetize his channel. That's all I want.
Word. He should be. He should be pulling some nice coin.
I hope so because lots he's a nice kid. He loves the weather. Let him get paid.
So since we're on the YouTube topic here, another Canadian YouTuber got into a little bit of trouble here. This is Nicole Arbor. She did the fat people video. You guys heard of this?
Yeah, I've heard of it. I haven't watched it, but she sounds like a pretty terrible person. But.
Well, I guess she was on The View this week, and they just tore her apart apparently. So.
Yeah, because the views should be the barometer that we all measure our lives by. I watched the piece, and it was not even borderline funny. It was pretty hateful, really.
Now, the irony is that the next day or the day after, I'm reading about The View losing sponsors because they made fun of the Miss America, Miss Universe talent.
That show is circling the drain. Like, it's really time for them to pull the plug on it. And those are mixed metaphors, and I apologize for that, but... like that show.
You're using my brain. Oh, stop!
I apologize for being inconsistent in my application of metaphors. It's been a long week.
I hear you.
I mean, the View is pretty crap. It used to have a veil of legitimacy when you had Barbara Walters on it, and you had some kind of interesting conversations going on about things that are in the news, but now it just seems like people being assholes for the purpose of like making people talk about their show on the internet, which like no one's going to do that better than Fox News. Like, why are you trying?
I don't know. I only see these clips on TMZ or on YouTube that makes the news here, and I'm looking at I watch a little bit
more fine program.
And you know what? I get my first round of news. That's from these guys. But I don't know. I look at the panel. I'm like, it's like any other show. And then I see, I don't know. I'm going off the rails here, but anyway.
But the nurse. So to counter, like, to come back on the nurse thing. Oh,
yes.
we were talking about Nicole Arbor. I'll come back to her. But they did some like shitty stunt today where they brought in like 40 nurses and had them stand behind them on stage, and it's like, oh, you guys continue to just be the worst. You just go away. Go away. Take your checks.
Yeah.
Go away. So this Nicole Arbor, you know what? Nicole Arbor got exactly what Nicole Arbor wanted out of this. She got some fame. She got some internet fame. She'll get some like shitty offers to do like the podcast circuit, and she'll like pop up here and there. Maybe she'll show up on At Midnight. She'll get a few parts in like some shitty B grade movies, and she got exactly what she wanted out of it. Yeah,
it's a cheap sell. Any way you can get it.
As long as we continue to agree that she is a terrible person, it's good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't wish her ill, but I'm not going to celebrate her success as a result of this because she is a pretty terrible person.
There's nothing borderline funny about it, and I have some pretty. My taste is not necessarily politically correct or.
Oh yeah, I've laughed at the most awful things, but.
Me too. But,
as a society,
it was just
we do not need this. We do not need another like skinny, blonde, cranky like bitch on the internet. Getting famous off of it. We don't. We just don't.
No, we totally
keep saying all the things I can.
Come at me, bitches. Come at me. I don't care.
What what bothered, it's stupid that they did it, but it was stupid that the producers let them do it. Really.
Yeah.
I know they get a little bit off topic on the show, but I mean, come on. Nurses are some of the greatest people in the world.
Well, exactly.
Well, they are.
Well,
And the fact that you have one leveraging her otherwise like prettiness, but is still like doing something quite civilized in terms of her career. Like this one isn't aspiring to be a reality star. For that reason alone, she should be commended. This Miss America contestant, she has she's aspiring to be a properly employed person doing very dignified work that will probably not end up on a sex tape. Like
exactly, and that's her talent.
Celebrate that.
That's her talent.
And it's respectable and commendable, but you know what? That's just that mentality, I guess. Because if she had been a firefighter, do you think people would have been making fun of her?
No, everyone would have gone like, for the troops, and like thanked her for her service, and all
That's my point.
And where's the calendar?
Yeah.
That's true.
Tell you, folks.
America.
America.
America. Yep.
When Trump gets in, we're going to have a 40-foot tall wall that we're going to have to climb over.
I welcome this.
Successfully.
That wall works both ways, friends.
We're being very negative to our friends down in the States there. I don't know, but maybe it has been all the political talk from the Republican primaries that's making us all antsy and stuff. We're ready to, after saying that we enjoyed a few days in the great state of Maine,
Yeah, but how many people did we see when we were down there, Jim?
We saw exactly 6.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Hang on, Keith, think back.
Were they German?
No.
They're from Maine.
Yeah, they were from Maine. Hang on.
I heard Germans are everywhere.
2, 3, 5, 6. No, 9. We're 9 people.
I wasn't keeping track. It wasn't a lot. Put it that way.
It wasn't a lot. No.
Sell me beer and go away. I'm going into 40 miles into the wilderness.
Man, you've got to not want to see people when you go somewhere like that, yeah? You're hoping to see what did you say? Squirrels and rabbits?
Even the moose didn't come out. That's how far back in the woods we were. The moose screwed off. So.
Yeah, we got up. The moose.
Oh, we got up early.
We were so far up a mud road that goes to Quebec that there was nothing on the radio. No power, no phone, nothing.
So you couldn't? Did you get Radio Canada or anything like that?
Oh, no, we got nothing. No, I showed Keith. It's like we're not gonna get anything here. So I hit scan on the radio, and it did a full scan of the FN band. Nothing.
That was the Golden Road. Lots of good radio stations in camp. But,
well, we were up a little bit higher there. We got
no people.
We got like one station, which is the NPR station, so we listened to that.
Oh, that's civilized. That's very civilized.
Oh, it was good. We listened to that, and we read we were reading local papers, and there was a local magazine and stuff that we got. So.
I love NPR. I can't get enough of it.
You know what? I was listening to the NPR One app the other day, and it made me think, why don't CBC have that? Can't they just license? Because La Presse, newspaper from Quebec, they stopped printing newspapers from Monday to Friday.
They're only going to print. Yeah, they're only going to print Saturday editions from now on.
And
that's actually not a terrible business. That's not a terrible idea.
No, considering that there's more people who subscribe to their digital iPad version of the paper than people buying it during the week, and they're like, we're just going to cut. And I think there was a number, it's like 15 or 20% was from print, so they're just going to say, you know what, 15% of our revenue, we're just going to go see ya. And
I mean, the people
it doesn't make sense, though.
But older people are going to miss that because they love print newspapers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But really, you or I, when do we have the time to sit down and look at a print newspaper and just leisurely leaf through it with a coffee? Basically Saturday or Sunday, and that's it.
Yeah, the only time is Saturday or Sunday when you pick up.
Like I'm trying to pull it up, and I really I really think what these traditional media folks are doing now is really interesting. Like I subscribe to Maclean's. I don't know if you can see that.
Yep.
And so what they do so I get the print edition, but I actually end up reading the digital one. But during the election, every morning, they publish an election edition of the previous day's news. So you just go into your app in the morning, and this is content. Some of it shows up in the magazine the next week, but this is a really unique way that they're using apps to kind of like corral their coverage of this. And they've been doing some pretty interesting, like kick-ass stuff in this election. And if any of these traditional print entities are going to continue to exist in a modern way, it's going to have to be through stuff like this.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And La Presse invested, I don't know how many millions, 30, 40, 50 million dollars. The platform that they built, they're now going to license it to other newspapers. So
my God, that's so smart.
The Toronto Star launched this week their iPad version of the paper using the platform that La Presse has built.
Well, so, you know who else needs a new platform for their newspaper?
Is it locals? Rhymes with Herald?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it'd be nice to have some news from New Brunswick coming out once in a while.
Yeah, that's going to be behind a paywall forever, buddy.
Oof.
New Brunswick, Maritimes P-stop.
You time it with when you fill up your car with gas at the gas station. Hey, let's do a quick check on comments, folks. Carrie, that's your cue to refresh the page right now as I buy you some time. Folks,
not me, it's my computer. Sorry.
That's why I'm giving you.
Just blame me.
Better have hit the button like 30 seconds ago because I'm buying.
I'm gonna blame Sleep for everything now. Everything you just watch.
So
what are they gonna do? Not take my money? Yeah.
So Friday Night Hangout hashtag Twitter. We can check on that, but I don't think there's much going on tonight.
Well, one person has chimed in on things. And Keith Elliott says the bullshit meter is off the charts tonight. And I think that's because I've called at least 2 things, if not 3 things, total bullshit tonight.
I lost count.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it sounds about right.
A lot of outrage tonight. Carrie, is there any new comments?
I'm working on it. Just give me.
How slow is this computer of yours?
It's mojito driven, Jim. Think about it.
Mojito driven.
It's got Windows Vista on it. Is that slow enough?
No, that's not even supported anymore.
I know.
Whoa.
I can't throw it out the window yet.
Oh my Lord.
Mustang says show is great tonight. Very, very interesting topics. And he also says, did you get many new craft beers in Maine? And he says,
did we ever?
Care Gang.
Yeah, well, we got some, but you know what? Selection was on the poor side. Don't worry, we got our craft beer, but there were certain brands that we've been getting for the last.
You couldn't get your doobie. That's why you're foul.
I'm so not only that, I couldn't. The amount of canned beer was a lot lower than.
Yeah, but you guys were. Yeah, that's just the way they do it down there. But you guys are up in the sticks. I'm surprised you didn't hear any banjo players up there.
They don't even know what banjos are there yet. Actually.
No, they're still cutting.
Yeah.
They're still cutting wood, chopping wood down, chopping trees.
And boarding up all the stores in Millinocket with it.
Previous to that, Mustang 774 says it sounds like the main trip was excellent, and he enjoys the videos you guys posted earlier. And that's all.
Nice. All right, thanks, Mike. Yeah, no, there was a number of beers I wanted for beers. I wanted the Unida Doobie. Is that your phone there, Carrie?
No, that's mine. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The battery's dying.
Oh, okay. Oh, here, I just happen to have this some
look at that. How do you pronounce that?
Unida?
Oh yeah, how are those? Good?
Yeah, really good. However,
I haven't drank mine yet.
they do. There's one called a Dube, which is a black IPA with a little bit of hemp in there. Really, really good, like high alcohol kind of beer.
Did you say there's a little bit of hemp in there?
Yeah, hemp. Yep.
Hey, we still drank a lot of good beer.
Yeah.
Allagash and Baxter and yeah.
Yeah, a lot of Allagash, Baxter. Well, Keith drinks some Sebago and stuff. I wanted as the everyday beer a whole bunch of Boston Lager in cans because The Boston Lager from St. Adams that you get in Maine is a lot different than what you buy overpriced Sam Adams you get over here.
Isn't the Sam
Yeah.
Adams here brewed at Moosehead?
Yes, and it tastes just like a Moosehead too. It tastes like it's a mix between Alpine and Moosehead.
God, that's a terrible way to describe a beer.
What taste? What are you describing?
Sam Adams,
Sam
Adams. Sam Adams.
the Canadian
Oh, the
version of
Boston Lager.
the Canadian version of Sam Adams.
Oh, the Canadian version. Yes. The American
Yeah.
version was better, but I can't remember.
Anyway,
When I worked down there, I used to drink a lot of it, but I don't enjoy it here.
no, it's
I
not.
had some Sam Adams years ago, and when I was in where'd I go? Baltimore, and it was great beer. I
Yeah.
drank that for a week. It
Well,
was great.
don't get it when you're in Canada or New Brunswick or
No,
Nova
I won't.
Scotia because
No.
it's terrible. Speaking of which, Moosehead Olins, you guys start reading the trial.
It's so messed up.
There's yeah.
So I haven't been. I'm not up to date, but I do want to read up on it. But for people who want some reading exercises, on CBC New Brunswick, what's his name? Richard Olin.
The one who died, yes.
Yeah, Richard Olin trial. Let's speculate. His son killed his dad with an axe.
His son is on trial for murdering him with an axe, and there was a lot of money involved.
Now Olin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Olin family is the ones who own Moosehead Brewing and.
But they've divested that. I don't think they're actually involved in it anymore, are they?
No, not. Yeah, I don't think that's.
But I mean, like, they're still insanely rich. Like,
Yeah.
For New Brunswick, they're very rich. They're not like Irving rich, but they're still like pretty rich.
Pretty rich, yeah, exactly. It's Irving, McCain, and then the Olins.
Exactly.
Let's put it that way. I'm sure there's a few others in between there, but that's for simplicity's sake, that's what it is. So anyway, if you want to read up on that, the trial I think has just started. A big fight with the newspapers, though, fighting for access or to fight against the publication ban because being New Brunswick or same thing being Nova Scotia, high-profile family. The police was trying to just, media ban the whole damn thing, but
Well, all the newspapers in New Brunswick are owned by the Irvings.
Yeah, and
Blanket declaration and the Irvings exercise. I think it's JD. Well, not JD. Whatever the younger son of JD is, who is most closely related to running the papers. He exercises editorial control. He involves himself in the editorial content of the newspapers.
I think you see that in a lot of newspapers. You just don't hear about it. Same thing as TV stations too. There's certain TV stations I will not name that will not cover certain families of wealth and influence in this country.
The Herald does it too. They're very selective in what they write about very rich people, and
News
they have
is very subjective.
and they have a very pronounced editorial bent.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do one last little bit before we end off the Hangout, which is our plus one. Something that caught our attention this week that we clicked or shared, a plus one. Mine is, and I believe it came from salon.com. I should try to bring it up here. It's in my history here. The conspiracy theory from the recent shooting on live TV. I don't know if you guys remember that from a few weeks ago.
God, I'm so glad you mentioned that. I read some of that.
So for those of you who need a refresher, maybe it was a month ago, down in the States, on ABC morning show, the disgruntled weatherman or whatever reporter on live TV shot cameraman or reporter as they were doing the live spot. And later on that day, he posted his point of view, his smartphone video version of events on his Twitter and YouTube and all that stuff. Anyway, there are some people who believe that was a conspiracy.
Yes.
That they're alive and well. The boyfriend or the husband of the girl that unfortunately got murdered weren't really, because he wasn't that broken up about it when he was on TV talking about it and all this stuff. And this great article from
I think it was on the Daily Beast. The one I read was on the
Daily
Beast.
Beast.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was Salon. I'll try to bring it up here and post it here. But basically, we're saying that there's this condition that really has just come up since the internet has been around, that some people just can't accept that shit happens for no reason. Just stuff happens, and they gotta find a reason in the minutia. Like why was he able to walk up to them and just stand there? Well, if you're doing a live spot, you're probably not noticing anything beyond your
You're
peripheral.
focused on what you're doing because you're working.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this is where, well, it all started. This kind of like this brand of conspiracy theory enthusiast really came to the forefront with the 9/11 truthers and
Definitely.
everything that 9/11 truthers, Obama birthers. Like there's a whole realm, and they've never had a broader or louder voice than they have with the internet for this kind of stuff. But that is messed up. Like this guy's reasoning for how this is all a conspiracy is ridiculous.
Worthwhile reading. I'm sure you can Google it. There's tons of videos on YouTube, but yeah, I think it's but if it was Salon or Daily Beast, it's on there. Keith, do you have a +1 or?
It's not. Well, I guess what it is I've been reading this week that Serial returns next month, season 2, and season 3 comes in the spring of 2016.
Oh wow, quick!
This is very
quick.
exciting. Keith Elliott, you've brought all the good news tonight.
Yes.
That's all I have, but that's kind of exciting to me.
Have you
It's
guys
very
been?
exciting to me.
Have you guys been listening to the podcast, the rebuttal podcast,
No, I heard about it. Though.
Undisclosed or whatever it's
Yeah.
called?
It's the one by Rabia, right? The Rabia.
Yeah. It's called the Undisclosed, the State versus Adnan Syed. So
Well, I'll be honest. I find like her a take on things not entirely grounded in reality, but
what we were saying earlier about focusing on the minutia.
yeah,
And
like that's just not how that legal. It's not how that legal system works.
Getting bogged down in the details.
yeah, getting really bogged down. But there are some segments that is a little bit interesting. But yeah,
I haven't listened to it though. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And I mean, at the end of the day, he is probably going to get out of jail fairly soon. So.
Oh yeah, probably. All right, Carrie, what is your +1, or do you have one this week?
No, I don't have one this week.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Krista. I don't know. That's okay. New bit. Krista.
My +1 hasn't happened yet. It is tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock Atlantic time, TSN, Canada versus Ireland in the Rugby World Cup. Get on it.
Now, did you go?
I've been to a rugby game now. I vaguely recall it. I'm going to watch some more tomorrow morning.
You should make yourself a big-ass breakfast sandwich. That's all I have to say.
You need a big-ass bagel.
I'm going to make myself a breakfast bagel. That's going to happen.
Get Lori to bake you one of those big-ass bagels so you can cook
Those
some
bagels
eggs.
She has started learning how to make. She started like making bagels. So
She said they didn't look good, but they look awesome.
I know, they look good. They look good.
She made the Montreal style. She hand formed them, so they don't look pretty, but they taste good.
Damn straight.
Yeah.
So
Canada versus Ireland tomorrow. Two countries that I love. Ireland is probably going to cream Canada, but that's okay.
Now, are these the same teams that were in town a few weeks ago to play on,
So when they had the battle for New Scotland, it was actually Team Canada. So the Team Canada that will be at the Rugby World Cup, we're playing the second string team of the Glasgow Warriors. So that's a professional team that plays in a league there. So it was our national amateur squad against professional players.
Mm-hmm.
But they still won, so hooray! Go Canada. Yeah, my loyalties will be very divided tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock Atlantic on TSN.
I feel good about that.
It's going to be a good match. It's, I still know nothing about rugby, but that doesn't mean I can't enjoy it.
All I know is the ball is white.
You know what? I went to that game that they had here. That was kind of like an organizational disaster leading up to it.
Uh-huh.
But it actually ended up being a really well executed event, and I had a great time.
Well, you know what? Nobody talked about it afterwards. There was a lot of talk.
I know.
It was going to be a disaster, and then nothing.
all indicators were that it was going to be a disaster, and it was actually a lot of fun. I had never been to a rugby match before. Had a great time. The venue, other than being a complete pain in the ass to get to, was great. I could not find it again if I had to, because that's just a part of the city I never go to. But yeah, it was a good time. Very good time.
All right. So with that, I think we'll just end it for night here. We've been going on a little over an hour tonight. So hey, we're back, folks. Friday Night Hangout. We're going to take a break next week, but we'll resume our weekly schedule. So if you want to watch the little replay, you can wait a few minutes, and then, of course, it will start up again. If you want to listen to the audio-only best-of version, well, you're just going to have to wait a little bit longer because I need to edit. I try to condense things down to about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. So it takes a little while to do this. I'm one episode
We should call
behind.
it Friday Night Hangout All Gold.
Solid gold. Solid gold. Yes. All right. Awesome. With that, Krista, how do we end off the Hangout?
Good meeting.
Good meeting.
Good meeting.
Jeez.